In a quiet village nestled in the valley, the moon was cherished like an old friend. It bathed the fields in silver light and guided travelers through the dark. Children sang lullabies to it, believing it listened to their dreams. Helen, a curious girl with an insatiable love for stories, often spent her nights gazing at the moon, weaving tales about its adventures. One fateful night, the moon vanished. The sky turned an unsettling shade of black, and the stars seemed confused, flickering weakly. Panic spread like wildfire. "Where has the moon gone?" the villagers whispered, their faces pale with fear. Helen refused to believe the moon had disappeared without reason. She climbed to the hilltop where the moon always seemed closest and found an old oak tree with a peculiar glow around it. Carved into its bark were symbols she had never seen before, pulsating faintly. The village elder, a reclusive man named Gareth, saw Helen's curiosity and decided to reveal the truth. Long ago, the moon was bound to our skies by a promise made to humanity. But promises must be nurtured. "We have taken its light for granted," he said with a heavy sigh. Determined to make amends, Helen asked how she could bring the moon back. Gareth handed her a small silver key and told her of an ancient portal deep in the forest. "The key will lead you to the moon's heart, but beware. The path will test your courage, kindness, and wisdom." Helen set off, carrying the weight of her village's hope. The forest was alive with whispers and shifting shadows, but she clutched the key tightly, her resolve unwavering. The first challenge came as Helen stumbled upon a brook where an injured bird lay struggling. She was torn between continuing her journey and stopping to help. She chose compassion, using her scarf to make a sling for the bird. As she placed it safely in a tree, the water of the brook began to glow, revealing a stepping stone path forward. This journey isn't just about the moon, she realized. It's about who we become along the way. The second test awaited her in a clearing where two paths diverged. One was a golden road, glittering with promises of safety. The other was dark and tangled, with no visible end. Helen remembered Gareth's words about courage and chose the dark path. As she ventured deeper, her fears whispered to her, but she silenced them with a song about the moon she used to sing as a child. The darkness lightened, revealing the forest's beauty. Finally, Helen arrived at a clearing where a towering crystal spire stood. Inside, a soft light pulsed like a heartbeat. A voice echoed, "Why have you come?" It was the moon, speaking through its essence. Helen knelt and admitted humanity's negligence. "We've taken you for granted, but we wish to make things right. I promise we'll honor your light and remember your place in our lives." The moon tested Helen's sincerity, conjuring an illusion of her village rejoicing under a bright sky without it. "What if they no longer need me?" it asked. Helen's heart ached but replied, "Even if they forget, I won't. You deserve to shine, not for gratitude, but because you are beautiful." Her words softened the moon's doubts. The crystal began to glow brighter, but it wasn't over yet. The moon revealed its final test. Helen had to leave the key behind, meaning she could never return to this magical place. It was a sacrifice of curiosity for the greater good. Tears filled her eyes as she placed the key on the spire. The forest shimmered, and Helen felt a deep peace wash over her. She had done what was right. Back in the village, the sky remained dark. Days turned to weeks, and the people began to lose hope. But Helen's faith never wavered. She shared her journey with the villagers, reminding them of the moon's importance. Slowly, they began to change. People lit lanterns at night and told stories about the moon to their children. They left offerings of gratitude under the old oak tree. One quiet evening, as Helen sat by the brook where she had helped the injured bird, a faint silver glow appeared on the horizon. The stars twinkled excitedly, and the villagers gasped as the moon re-emerged, more radiant than ever. The people cheered, their joy uncontainable. But Helen, with her quiet smile, simply whispered, "Thank you for trusting us again." The moon's return brought more than light, it brought wisdom. The villagers began holding a festival each month on the night of the full moon. They sang, danced, and told stories, remembering the lessons Helen had shared. Even Gareth, who rarely left his home, joined in, his eyes gleaming with pride for Helen's bravery. Helen never sought recognition for her deeds. She returned to her simple life, though her heart was forever changed. She wrote her journey in a small journal, hoping that future generations would learn from it. The journal became a treasure of the village, passed down from one storyteller to the next. It was titled The Night the Moon Disappeared Forever. Years passed, and the village thrived under the moon's light. Helen grew older, her hair turning silver like moonlight. Yet, she never lost her sense of wonder and curiosity. The villagers often asked her to recount her journey, and though she shared it gladly, she always reminded them, "The moon didn't return because of me. It came back because we chose to change." One night, Helen sat beneath the old oak tree, the moonlight wrapping around her like an embrace. She felt a deep connection to the sky, as if the moon itself was thanking her for her unwavering faith. She smiled and whispered, "You were never really gone, were you? You were waiting for us to find our way back to you." When Helen passed, the village mourned deeply but honored her by planting a circle of trees around the old oak. They called it the Moon Grove, a place for reflection and gratitude. The moon never disappeared again, shining brighter with each generation that remembered Helen's story and the lessons she left behind. Moral of the story: gratitude and care sustain the things we cherish most. When we take something for granted, we risk losing it. True change begins with humility, courage, and a willingness to grow.